what happens. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Welcome. I have the fabulous Pepper Basham with me tonight. How are you doing, Pepper?
I am doing just fine. How are you, Bee?
I'm doing great. I'm so thankful that we got to sit down. Thank you for being so flexible. I know we originally were going to do this last month, and now we're doing it here and now. And I'm just so very excited to get to sit down with you because, and I was just saying this, and I think we talked about this a little bit via Instagram. I knew of you. I'd heard your name, and people say, I love Pepper Basham, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay. And then the other day I was at a bookstore and I saw this and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to have this. And people were like, I love it so much. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. And then, so we're doing the Jane Austen read along for 2026. And this popped up and I thought, oh my gosh, it was meant to be. I'm so very excited. But I'm just so excited to talk to you about not only this, because, we read Sense and Sensibility as a group in January. So, of course, I wanted to talk to you about this, but I see that you've got another Jane Austen twist coming out in November.
Yes.
We're going to talk about that. I just want to talk about all the things. I want to talk about your backlist. I want to just go anywhere you want to go because honestly, I'm so excited about all of it. Truly, I'm excited to hear about your contemporary, your historical, and the viewers. Like we're kind of all on the same page. We love historicals, but we also love contemporary. So, and we do tend to like the lighter side, So we
Yes.
are all primed to be Pepper Basham fans. So
Yes. Bring on the fans. I'm good with
right,
that.
right. Yeah. So I thought, I did banners, not because I want to be formal, but because with my brain the way it is, I will forget things. So rather than forget a good question, I'm going to do this. Okay, let's do this. For those of us who haven't had the pleasure of reading your work yet, how would you describe yourself as an author, or how would you describe your novels?
Um, well, I do have a mixture, like you mentioned. I have a mixture
Yeah.
of historical and contemporary. I would say that the common thread through all of my books, regardless of lightness, is that they are infused with hope. I love to write about hope, but I also, the longer I write, the more I tend toward the lighter, joyful side. Not fluffy. I don't think I write fluffy. I think I write a lighter, but they have a spine of deep feelings and deep truth. And so, but all of them are infused with hope so that whenever you turn that last page, there is going to, I hope that there is going to be that sense of lightness, of there's something, as what does the Samwise say, there's something, some good in this world and it's worth fighting for,
Oh, you
hopeful.
got me. You
That's
got
right.
me in the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
but I really think that, I mean, you're gonna get I think good romance, you're gonna get good characters, and you're gonna get humor. But I really hope that all of that comes from the core of it being a hopeful story.
Oh, I just love it so much. I love it. And so, okay, well, and then again, because I'm trying to make this sort of linear, how does that go into? Let's talk about these amazing. You know what? I'm just going to pop both of these up. So this one's coming out in November. We're going to look
Yes.
at these at the same time because I can't help myself. Let's do it. Tell us about these. Tell us about your um, relationship to Jane Austen. How these came about. Hopefully, I'm not asking.
Okay, well, let me tell you, first of all, I am kind of strange in the fact that I fangirl over my characters. I'm not, and that's not to say I think I'm a great writer. It's not to say that I think I'm awesome, but I fall in love with these characters and their stories, and I just love talking about them. I just think there's just great people that are not real. And so, and so I need to prepare you ahead of time.
I
But
love it. I love it.
yes. So let me start with the whole Jane Austen thing. I ha I'm an Appalachian girl. You can probably tell from my accent that I am I'm more Southern, but I'm Southern Appalachian, which means lots of times in our culture there wasn't a lot. Illiteracy is really high. There's not a lot of
Yes.
traveling. You don't in past there wasn't this big view of the world, and you you lived to work at your job and raise your family. And there's nothing wrong with either one of those, right? Those
Yeah.
are wonderful things. But I grew up in a culture where that was the history. And so when I was in 6th grade, I was introduced to the Secret Garden, and I fell in love with this world I'd never seen before, this English world where there were gardens that were walled in and where people lived in manor houses. I had no idea what that could be. And there were all these, it was almost magical for me, kind of like the C.S. Lewis wardrobe. Um,
Oh,
it had, yeah, opened a door for me that I didn't even know about, from this little world of mountains and cabins and things like that. And so I started reading things from that similar genre in middle school. I was introduced to Jane Eyre. In high school, I started reading Austen. When I hit Austen, I feel like I hit my spirit animal. um, I started reading her, and I think what drew me was that it was a story that had hope and
mm,
banter and romance and this lightness, but I'm still traveling to a place that I'd been dreaming about since I was in 6th grade. And so, yeah, so I just began reading her stuff. I went into a nerd phase and started reading academic articles about her writing
get
and her
out.
life. Yeah, I just found it fascinating, her fascinating. And that was before I was ever, I mean, I finished my first novel when I was a freshman in college. And my first full length novel. Now, I've been writing for a long time, but I finished my first full length novel, which was not Regency at all. It was medieval, but whatever. Anyway, right.
Oh
Um,
my gosh.
yeah. And so,
And that was published, or did you just
no,
finish
no, no, no,
Okay.
and it won't be. No, but um, some iteration of it may evolve at some point in time, but
Yeah,
that won't
yeah.
be anytime soon. um, so I just
Oh,
became,
goodness.
I became fascinated with her, and so my first trip to England, my second trip to England, there were lots of Jane Austen inspired visits, and
Mm.
so interestingly, my I had been writing for my publisher Thomas Nelson for a couple of years, and my editor, I'd just been writing contemporary rom com for them, and she asked me how I felt about Regency, and I said, "Oh, I love Regency. I love Jane Austen." She said, "How would you feel about writing up a couple of chapters that would be kind of comedic Regency? I just want to see what your voice would be like." And I was like, I'm not gonna write Regency." And she, and she said, "Why not?" I said, "There are so many great authors out there who already write Regency so well. I don't think I could add anything to what they do. They do it so beautifully. Like, there are
Right.
so many, right? Julie Clausen and Erica Vetch and Sarah Eden. You know, there's like all these
Yeah,
people who write these great."
yeah,
And I'm like,
yeah.
"No, no." She says, "But I want you to write it your way and just see what it looks like." And so I wrote a couple of chapters. I had an absolute blast writing those chapters and sent them in. And she goes, "This is what I'm looking for. I want you to write this book." And so that's how it all started. And I think it's because I loved Jane Austen and her world so much that all that was like, "Ooh, what can we do?" So there they came.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so, if you remember offhand, what was the title of that one? Your first Regency?
Oh no, my first Regency is Sense and Suitability.
Okay, okay, because I know you've done other okay, so
Hmm.
it wouldn't be Regency, it would be historical, I'm sorry, because 'cause I'm
Hmm.
thinking about some other historicals that you've written. Okay.
Yes.
Boop, got it.
Yeah.
I'm plugged in, okay.
Yeah, I was
So
I was Edwardian, right? The Edwardian time period is where I was sticking, because
gotcha,
that's
gotcha.
where I'd done a lot of my research. But this was my
Yeah.
first Regency, and it was a little intimidating because, and so and so yeah.
I love Yes, oh my gosh, I love it. And also, okay, Gwen makes a great point. What is the point of writing about characters you don't like? Well said, yes, and I love that you love your characters, and it's not always the case, with authors I've spoken to. Some of them are like, "I did not like so and
I am
so."
such a fan. I reread and re-listen to them all the time. I love just hanging out with them. It is really odd, I know, but listen, if you start
No! I
You
love it.
spend lots of time with them. I mean, and it's like Gwen said. I mean,
Yeah,
why? I like them.
right.
Let's talk some more.
Yes, yes. I spoke to an author once who she goes, "I have a crush on one of my heroes." I'm like, "That is adorable. That is adorable." I love it so much.
Yes.
We have Luna Bookish here who can't wait to read your books and is sending her love and support. So I
Thank
love
you.
so cute. And hello to Kristen. Hello, hello. Oh my gosh. So okay, so tell us then. We'll just go over here then. We'll just look at this one since you were talking specifically about this one. Tell us a little bit about this book.
Yeah, so this story is a whole lot of it's a second chance romance.
Yes,
It's a
yes.
yes, it's a what I love about this story in particular is that it doesn't just involve a hero and a heroine. It involves a whole family unit. And they're all
Yeah.
crazy.
Yes.
The kids are crazy. But I love it because we get a beautiful redemption arc, but we also get a secret identity. We get all kinds of fun things going on. So
Yeah.
my heroine is a closet authoress, which
Mhm.
is not a good thing to be if you're a lady. Now you can be a woman and be an authoress, but you don't want to be a lady and be an authoress during the Regency time period because it was very frowned upon. Women did not have employment, and ladies did not have employment.
Right, right.
And so her name is Emmeline, and she had a budding romance with Simon, who was not a viscount at the time, until his uncle and his father die, and he inherits this title, and disappears from her life
Right.
without any kind of excuse, and
Yes.
pops up 2 years later looking for a rich bride because his estate is in incredible debt, and he has five younger siblings he's trying to rescue from this fate, and they are all insane or missing.
Yeah.
And so it's this whole story of duty and duty versus romance, duty versus love. Which one are you going to choose? Which is a big theme through a lot of Jane Austen's books. And
Mhm.
so, it does the social differences, but there really is love enough to
Mm.
cover over blank. What is it?
Yeah, yeah. Well said. And one thing that was refreshing for me reading this is it's not just a cut and paste carbon copy of Sense and Sensibility. It sounds like and you just I don't wanna ask the question that you just already answered, but the way that you tied it in was what you were talking about in terms of does love cover and I
Right.
just wanna make sure I'm leaving no stone unturned here, but that's
Well,
how you felt was the biggest tie-in to Sense and Sensibility, it sounds like.
right. And it's really important. Let me reiterate this. These are not retellings of Jane Austen's classics at all. There are
Right.
influences. There are influences from
Yes.
Sense and Sensibility into the story, and the characters reading Sense and Sensibility, right, in the story.
Yeah.
So you get that
Right.
element, but there you're not, if you're trying to follow step by step, it's not meant to be. It's not meant to
Right.
be a retelling. It's more meant to be that, like you were just saying, and I was just saying, that
Yeah.
influence from
Yes.
Jane Austen's classic.
Yeah, some of the core themes you're going to find within.
Yes.
And it was refreshing too, because I was really immersing myself in a lot of Sense and Sensibility, and I was like, "Oh, I see, and I love it."
Yay!
So,
That's great.
yay, truly, truly. So then I feel like naturally we could flow right into Pride and Practicality, which is coming
Yes.
out this fall, which will be here before we know it. I say it's gonna be so far away, we're gonna blink and it's gonna be November 3rd.
It's true.
So,
It's true.
I mean and I love this cover.
Me too. He's leaning.
So precious, so precious. And is that a squirrel? Is
Yes.
it a squirrel? I
Yes.
thought it was a I didn't notice it until just now because 'cause I've been so focused on the leaning, I thought it was so cute. Okay, now that I've gotten over my being distracted, tell us a little bit about this one.
Okay, so clearly from the title, there is a very mild influence of Pride and Prejudice in it. You are not going to recognize a Pride and Prejudice storyline. You will
Right.
have influences from Pride and Prejudice, but here was my goal. I don't know if I met it or not. Readers will let me know. They'll let
I'm
me
sure you
know.
will.
Jane Austen does not usually paint clergymen in a positive light. Now, we do have
Mm.
Henry Tilney, and he's a very positive clergyman. We have some secondary characters who are clergymen, and we kind of know they're good. But most of the time, any of the more overt clergymen are not great. They're not. They're wonderful characters, right?
Yes,
They're wonderful
yes.
characters to have. Mr. Collins is a fantastic character,
I was
right?
gonna say Mr. Collins, yes, yes, yes.
But they're not usually painted in a flattering light. And so my goal
You
was
wouldn't
to,
be fangirling over them, is that what you're saying?
yeah, no, you would not. You would not. You would not say
No.
you would not say hot clergyman. And so my goal, I think, like Mr. Collins walking through a fog field with his shirt unbuttoned and jacket is not going to have the same appeal. You know what I'm saying?
No. Yeah.
No one was looking for his hand flex or coming out of a pond. Nobody.
No, no. It's so true. Oh my
So
goodness.
I fell in love with Thomas in book one, and I didn't really know I wasn't sure for certain if I'd get to write a book two. And so whenever I was told, yes, please write a second one, I thought, I'm going to write a clergyman that is going to be incredibly romantic and good, and he's going to have that or try to have that wonderful balance between being a really great lead, as in being attractive and having a good personality, but also being very secure in his calling as a clergyman, because
Mm,
sometimes we get that mix of he's a really good guy but he's not a really great clergyman preacher, or he's a really good preacher but he's not necessarily a hot guy. And so that was my, I don't know. We don't talk a lot about hot preachers, but hey, um,
not
so
a whole lot, no.
now I've got a hashtag, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh my
but
goodness.
this story really is looking, again. It is looking at that question of duty versus love, because we have a
Mhm.
heroine who is a fallen woman,
Mm.
and so clergymen don't marry fallen women. They don't
Right,
fall.
right.
They may fall in love with a fallen
Mm.
woman, but they're not going to spend the rest of their lives with them,
Mhm.
because it's not a good choice. They'll be kicked out of the church or something. The social world will shun them, and then there's the social dynamics of that time period was really powerful.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we have this story of a clergyman trying to resurrect a church that has a past that's not great, because the previous clergyman did a lot of inappropriate things, and that's why he was kicked out. So Thomas
Mhm.
has an even higher pressure to maintain a really positive social dynamic, besides the fact that he's trying to raise money to start a school for orphans, and
Mm.
that's his goal. Is he's trying to help the lesser of the community of St. Groves. And then we have Ariana Reeves, who is Simon from book one, his missing sister.
Oh
She
boy.
returns. Yeah, she returns with quite a reputation, but whether that reputation is accurate or not, you have to wait and find out. And so the story is about, and she has the same heart as him. She loves helping people who are broken, because she knows what it's like to be
Mm.
on the fallen side of society. And
Yeah.
so there's this, I tell you what, I love this story. I love the beauty of it. It's not as big laughs as Sense and Suitability. You still
Mm.
have funny parts, you still have comedy. The squirrel is a part of that, because Thea replaces the frog. And so Thea is the little sister in Sense and Suitability, and she has a pet frog as well. She's now
Oh.
found a pet squirrel,
Oh
and
boy.
who's a thief.
Oh
And so
no.
so you have that still have that sweet dynamic of family, but there's much more of the sweetness of Eleanor and Marianne in Sense and Sensibility, where there's that
Yes.
sisterhood. There's more of the
Mhm.
sisterhood and the male companionship, like Pride and Prejudice, where you
Mm,
see the male companionship with Bingley and Darcy, and
yeah,
you see the female companionship among the sisters, especially Jane and Lizzie and
yeah.
Charlotte. And so there's more of that instead of the child dynamic. There's more of that sisterhood brotherhood dynamic in it.
Wow, I love that. Oh, I'm really eager to read this. When do we do the cover? That's
I'm
exciting.
hoping
That's really
I'm
exciting.
hoping people will like it.
I
So
don't see how they couldn't. I don't see how they couldn't.
yeah.
Speaking of things that are coming out, I am not typically a YA reader. I know a lot of us are, which is why now I'm gonna okay, now let me move this because I don't wanna make everybody
Go through
have
all the
whiplash,
pictures. But
right?
what
I
great
know.
covers. What great covers those were.
I know. I'm so we have to talk about all those. I'm excited. We really have to talk about those. But I do want to talk about this because
Tomorrow.
I saw this the other day on Instagram with this cute little like a slideshow video. And I was
Yes.
like, oh my gosh, please, please, because this is coming out tomorrow.
I know.
Did you just say that and I talked over you? I'm so sorry. You poor
No, we were
thing.
doing it together.
Okay, good. Yay. You're
Yeah.
so sweet. Tell us please about this. It looks so cute. It looks so cute. Okay.
Yeah, so really this started out as a little bit of a challenge from my author friend Jamie Jo Wright. She was realizing that there were a lot of young adult novels out that were not necessarily low spice or no spice for young readers. You know, we're thinking 12 to 17-year-olds. And there were really not a lot that were rom-commy. More of them were fantasy. You know, they stick with that. Nothing wrong with that. Fantasy is amazing. I love fantasy. I'm a Lord of the Rings nut. And
Sure.
so yeah, so but she kind of was wanted to write something for her daughter who's like looking for stuff to read, and she's not a fantasy reader and was looking for
Mm.
something that would be where she could put herself in the place of a heroine, right?
Yeah, yeah.
um Now, not that we all don't really want to ride a dragon at some point, and I'm not saying anything against that. I'm just saying sometimes we
It's nice
can't.
to have variety and to
Right.
have and a lot of YA, and this is personally why I'm not a huge YA person. It's because I find it to be heavy so often,
Hmm.
and so this looks like a YA that I would actually be really excited
Yeah.
about. But so
Well,
anyway, so
yeah.
I
So yeah, so she challenged me to say, she says, I know you have some ideas. Why don't we put them out together so we can support each other in this, and offer something for young ladies who want to read books that don't have this spice and have more of that rom-com feel of real life. And
Mm.
so this is the Cinderella plot, and the Cinderella plot is a self-help book about how to transform your life from being invisible to visible in 5 easy steps. And my heroine, Paisley, feels invisible in her high school. It's her senior year. She has this very small group of friends. Chris is on the cover. He is her best friend. They have been best friends for almost their entire lives. And he is a wonderful nerd. I love him. And so, yeah, you get to see their friendship dynamic, but because Paisley is so certain that she's not enough,
Oh.
that the Cinderella plot hits right in the middle of all of her insecurities, and she starts changing the superficial, which starts changing her heart, which makes her not
Mm.
make good choices. And it's a whole process of her learning that she's enough and
Oh.
she's loved as she is, and that she's visible for the people who love her most. Um, and so there's comedy, there is a spiritual thread in this one because she's comparing the truths of the Cinderella plot with the truths of what she's been taught from her Bible. And so there's this
Mm.
comparison of, well, who does God say I am? If the Cinderella plot tells me I need to be this to be important, then
Mm.
what can I compare that to? Where's the truth in the middle of all this? So
Mm.
and so that's the basically how it works. And there's a little online community for the Cinderella plot that gets pretty, starts out really sweet, um but may not stay that way. And so
Oh.
there's a whole lot of, I mean, there's a lot of dynamics happening in it to show, I mean, I don't know how every teenager was, but I know there's a whole lot of teenagers, me included when I was one, that struggled with wanting to be look pretty and be popular and feel like I was important to the people in my school who were the important people. And
Mm,
so it really is a story about recognizing your worth at the heart level.
I love that. Oh, I love that. So needed. So needed. We have such an adorable cover. Truly.
Thank
It
you.
really
Thank you.
is.
I got to design this one. I'm so excited. I didn't draw the characters. I had an illustrator create the characters for me, but I knew exactly what I wanted them to look like, and she did an amazing job of making them that way. So,
It looks just precious, just precious. Okay, okay, now I'm going back to the beginning here because this is where talking about fangirling. When I was making the slideshow of your backlist, and I was like, "Oh
oh.
my heavens." I just I'm so excited, especially the Cairo curse. I have been in an Egypt kick lately, and there is not a lot of historical romance to be had in Egypt. So I'm just so excited to hear this, especially because, we begin with a Christmas, we're in Egypt. Where is this set, by the way?
Italy.
Italy!
Uh-huh.
Is this
Scot-
Scotland?
Scotland. Yep.
Scotland!
hmm And then we're back in England for that one.
And this one is coming out in July. You're a
Yes.
busy lady. You are
Yes.
one busy lady.
A little too much this year.
One of those things that's gonna be so magical, though, and then it'll be like, "Well, maybe I won't do that again, but it was
Right, right.
wonderful."
Yeah.
We'll all look back and be excited.
Maybe
So
when I don't have to do the day job so many days,
there
then I
you
can do that again. So yeah.
go, there you go. So tell us about the Freddie and Grace mysteries.
Yeah. So Freddie and Grace started with just the one book. There wasn't supposed to be a series. And it's about a marriage of convenience. Book one is the marriage of convenience, where the Freddie was supposed to marry Grace's older sister, and something happens that she has to replace her sister in the marriage choice, the contract,
Oh
because it's a
my.
marriage contract, right? Between one of those the penny brides or whatever they were, early late 1800s, early 1900s, where English lords who were poor were marrying rich American women.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so this takes place 19, I think this one starts in 1912 or 1913. The Edwardian period is one of my
Yes.
favorite periods. And
Yes.
so Grace is this hilarious. She's naive, but she's not stupid. She's really smart, but she's incredibly naive. And she thinks everything is, she sees life through a book. Everything is an adventure. Everybody has a plot. And this is the way she sees her life. And
Mhm.
Freddie has been very much burned by the people who are supposed to love him. So he's bitter a little bit, and he's trying to redeem a broken history for his family and himself. And
Oh,
Grace comes in, and Grace is her name, works out really well. But she comes in and she completely transforms his life because she just loves him. It's not one of those enemies to more. It's not at all. It's more of a like he's just shocked a lot. And so he's surprised a lot and he's trying to keep her alive. So there's this kind of thing happening. They end up starting, so some a mystery starts in his house, his English house, where they're trying to discover who killed his brother. And that's how he became an earl.
oh.
Yeah. And so they get married, they get to the house, and Grace, being the detective she thinks she is, starts finding all these clues, and it propels Freddie into this mystery hunting with
Oh,
her.
oh my.
And so the rest of the series is the two of them as a husband and wife solving different mysteries across the world. And so the second one that's in Egypt is they're on the first stop of their honeymoon trip, and it's to visit some of Freddie's family who uh, his cousin married an excavator, or not an excavator, but a guy who's paying for an excavation to look for treasure. And so the whole Egyptian treasure, Egyptian antiquities, whatever they can find. And so that has a whole mystery. And these have kill murder in them, and they have kidnapping, but they're all within a humorous. It's very. I've had people tell me it gives off Agatha Christie's lighter vibes. So
Oh.
so it has that, still has the serious stuff, but it's there's lots of things that make it lighter. So that's
Mm.
what the Cairo curse takes place in Egypt, and it involves Akhenaten, the pharaoh, heretic pharaoh. So you're in that time period of Egyptian history as far as what's being discovered.
Wow. I'm seeing again, like, people just going crazy, Wyoming saying, "Wow,
Yeah, they
fantastic
are
covers."
such good covers. I love the
I
covers.
love it. I love that we're going to different places. I
Yeah.
love the Edwardian era. I mean, I need to learn more about that and read more, in that time period.
Well,
But
Downton Abbey is the era, Edwardian era. So
yes. Okay, thank you. I love that you're reflecting on, or not reflecting, but referring to Downton Abbey, and then you just said something else. Oh, Agatha Christie. So
yeah,
for those of us that don't necessarily have those touch points right away that we can
yeah,
refer, here we are.
yes,
Yeah, I will need to read these things. Are fun. Yeah, absolutely. Exactly where I'm at.
yeah.
Um, oh my gosh, I'm just so excited about all of these. And then the one that's coming out, unless you wanted to talk any specifically about either of those
Well,
two.
just really quickly, the
Of course.
Juliet Code. The Juliet Code takes place in Venice, and it's a whole painting heist, impossible murder. And then the Highland, yeah,
Ooh.
the Highland heist takes place in Scotland, and you come back to England for the first half of the book, and then you're in Scotland for the second half. I mean, you come back to America for the first half because Grace is American, and there's this whole someone's trying to sabotage Grace and her sister's inheritance for a Scottish castle. And
Oh.
so the story takes place there. I mean everybody's in danger of life all the time. And
And
but
Freddie's
Roadster,
just shocked all the time
yeah,
again.
that's
Yeah.
right. And Freddie is shocked all the time. And he's starting to just, by this book, he's beginning to embrace his role as a possible detective protecting Grace for the rest of his life. So that's how it
That's
happens.
great, that's
Yes.
great. It only took 4 books to get there, but he
Yes.
got there.
He does kind of in book three, he starts going, I have to resign myself till death do us part. And I'm with this woman. So here we are.
I'm trying not to get to the death to the part as quickly
Right.
as this
Oh,
book might lead us.
no, he really likes her. She is a really good influence in his life for his heart. So yeah.
Oh, yay, I love it. And so, tell us about the one coming out this summer. I'm
Yeah,
so
so this one takes a shift to where you start seeing book one and book two. You'll get book two in particular, you start getting a third point of view occasionally, not all the time, because I like to keep it usually with hero and heroine points of view. But
excited.
you start in book two, you get a couple of scenes from a secondary character's point of view to give you as a new romance that's happening in
Oh,
each one. And so in the third book, in the Juliet Code, you get the point of view of their friend, Detective Jack Miracle, who is so much fun. And he's helping them solve the mystery in Venice. In book four, you get the point of view of I'm trying to think whose point of view. Oh, you get. I can't tell you because it's a
okay.
surprise. And,
Oh, no.
and and so in book, but this one, book five, you have been meeting a character throughout all of the stories whose name is Blake, and he's Freddie's cousin and best friend. And Blake is a curious character throughout. You're like, what? How does he always seem to know what's going on? How does he always show up at the right time? This sort of thing. So clearly, from the cover and the title, you get to find out that he is actually a spy. And the whole other series, you don't know. And you get to book five, and you find out he has been a spy all along. And the story is about him protecting Freddie and Grace because there's a spy in their house because they've turned their house into a World War One a hospital for
Oh,
recuperating soldiers, and
yes.
someone, nurse, patient in the house is a spy for Germany, and Blake is there to try to find out who it is, and
Mm,
Grace is there to kind of keep everybody wondering what's going to happen next,
gosh.
and
Oh my
and
god.
and so yeah, it was I don't write fight scenes very often because I just don't usually write those kind of books. But we have fighting spies a male and female fighting spy in here,
Oh
and
my god.
that was really fun to write. So I had some fun with that. But yes, that's this story comes out. It's the last one for the series because I for right now I don't think I can think of any more just because it's hard when you keep the hero and heroine the same for every book.
Mm,
You
mm.
get to a point where you're like, I would rather leave them wanting more than being, are we done yet? So
Yeah.
that's what we're doing.
I'm sure Freddie appreciates that. Now he can
I'm sure.
relax.
Yes, yeah, yes. I'm sure he's very happy with the turn of events.
There you go.
He can
There you
thank me
go.
later.
That's right. Exactly. He'll be thanking you on July 1st or July
That's
2nd.
right.
Been there, done that.
That's
We
right.
have Holly says, "I love Sense and Suitability, 5 stars. Thank you for writing it." Oh, how
Thank you.
fun.
Thank you
I
so
love
much, Holly.
I love it so much. Now I could keep going through your backlist, but I
Whatever you
also
want to do.
oh my gosh. I could keep you forever. I know it's already on our time zone. It's already
You're good.
7:07. So sorry. I promise I'm not gonna keep you much past 8 o'clock our
You're
time.
good. You're good. We're all good.
You're
I'm
so
at eight
sweet.
too. So
Okay, that's what I thought. And yeah. Okay, I just want to make sure. I have a 6-year-old who's going to want me to help her go to bed soon. But
yes,
she'll be okay.
yes.
Okie doke. I do want to ask this. What made you want to be an author? It's one of my
Um,
favorite questions to ask.
it's a good
So
question.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I don't know if you had this experience, but from early in my life, stories have been a powerful thing. And I
Mhm.
knew I liked to write stories I don't even remember how early it was when I was first making up stories. My mom said I would write them down when I was really little, and when I learned to write, and I would draw them if I didn't know how to write. And she said you were always into stories, and I think that a little bit comes from my Appalachian heritage, which is an oral storytelling heritage. And
Mm.
I grew up sitting on my granny's porch swing listening to her tell family history stories that went back generations, and I put some of those stories in my Appalachian books that I have that are historical. And I just there was something, I think we're created to love stories in general as
Oh, yeah.
humans.
Oh,
We
yeah.
respond to them, right? And we
Mm.
want to share our stories with other people, whether just a lifetime or in community, whatever that may be. Um, but I when my favorite story from when was a little girl, and I have a copy of one of my first books that I ever wrote and illustrated very poorly. I was 10 years old. And my so when I was 10 years old, my granny and I would go yard hopping to yard sales a lot of Saturdays together. That's the way I spent time with her. And one Saturday I couldn't go, and so she stopped by at my house on her way back from yard hopping, and she brought a gift for me, and it was a typewriter. And she said,
Oh.
this I got this for you because a writer needs one. It's the first time I was ever called a writer, and something about that moment just impacted me because I had not labeled myself a writer. I just liked to write, but she saw something in me and she gave it that name that I hadn't been aware enough or brave enough or whatever the case may be to give myself. And I was 10,
Mm.
you don't think like that. And so that I think it's just when people talk about callings, I really
Mm.
do feel like that's been something in my heart for as long as I can remember. And I love it. I love stories, and I will be happy to tell them as long as God lets me and, and tell them. Um, and so, but I'm very grateful, and I'm glad I have my personal story involves such a sweet story of learning
Yeah.
to be an author. So
Yeah. And the family encouragement as well, I think is so critical and how they're so uplifting of you, especially your grandmother. That's so
yeah,
beautiful.
yeah.
That is so beautiful. So okay, I have a question. Of course, the whole thing is me asking. I don't know why I'm acting like, oh, by the way, let me ask the question now. Let's change it up with a question. Um, so I have to know, is this coming out in May, by the way? Is this set in the Appalachians? I see mountains in the background.
Good
Is
guess.
it?
Your inferencing skills are fabulous. Um, this is set in Western North Carolina.
Yep.
It is set near in the area, pretty near where we lived in Asheville, North Carolina, and so it's very much a part of culture clashing. He's a Brit moving into a small town in Appalachia, which is going to shock anybody who's not from here. And
Right. Yeah.
and she is a British loving tea shop owner who's an Appalachian girl. And
Mm.
so it's a rivalry to more trope. Opposites attract. He's a single dad with an adorable little girl, starting over. And so the one thing I like to try to warn people, because I've had a few people be surprised at the turn of this story.
Oh.
Um, when I was writing it, I knew it was going to be a Rivals to More. I knew that the heart of this story was about the importance of community,
Mm.
how much community shapes your sense of belonging. Um, and so the year before, we had lived through Helene, where we were in Asheville, and the devastation and I mean, real devastation. And so I got about halfway through this book and I told my editor, I said, I have an idea. And she
Mm.
said, what is your idea? I said, I want you to tell me if it's a bad idea. I said, I wonder if the most beautiful way to show community in this book is to give them a natural disaster.
Oh.
And I said, because I know what that's like, and I saw what happened with community in real life, and I saw the beauty of that. And I said, I know this is a rom com, and it will still be a rom com, and it has all the rom commy stuff. Do you think that's too much? And she said, write it and let's see. And so I wrote it, and she said, Pepper, it's perfect. It shows exactly what you were hoping to show in community. And she said, I'm glad you gave us a glimpse into what that was like. And I do keep it light. You're not getting, I don't keep it, I mean, it's not like, oh, ha ha. Everybody's
Right.
houses are flooded.
Right.
Um,
Right.
but yeah, but you don't delve into the losses as much. You are
Right.
seeing and experiencing certain losses, but I'm trying to be very careful because I recognized what I was writing.
Yeah.
But I was very grateful that she saw the beauty of visibly showing this theme in such a powerful way. And
Mhm.
so yeah, so that's the I try to give people a little hint if they ask me, because I don't want them to feel like I've pulled a rug out from under them. That wasn't the goal at all.
Right.
It was just to make it feel real.
Yes.
And so that is in there, but there's so much flirting and there's so much romantic tension, and the banter is fantastic, I think.
Oh,
And and
good.
so there's a lot of good, and then I think that is good too. I think it's good to be able to look back on something like that, and with the right frame, and see the beauty out of
Yeah.
that broken part.
Absolutely, and for people that have gone through that, I think this will be perhaps healing for them or a way for them to feel seen, or for those of us that haven't been through that, it'll give us a greater appreciation of the way that it can build community. And
Yeah.
I will also say it's nice to see something different in a rom-com. It's not always just the cookie cutter,
Right.
it was just in the coffee shop. Save the coffee shop. You know what I
That's
mean?
right. Well, I mean, some like
Nothing
it's
wrong with
not.
save the coffee shop.
No,
You know
no,
what I'm
no.
saying? It's fine.
I, there are lots of coffee loving people would appreciate that.
Exactly. But yes, but it's nice to see something different, as well. So I think that's gonna resonate. I'm excited for that. I really am. Um, so let me ask my favorite
Oh
question.
no.
Um, this is my favorite question. No, and I always preface it with that, which is probably silly, but I can't help myself. I've never gotten the same answer twice, and
Okay.
every single time it's been like a profound answer, and you don't even have to try because the authors just somehow inherently know how to answer this
No
question.
pressure. No pressure
I
now.
know!
I'll be
I
your
know this
first
every
time.
time.
I'll be
I'm
your
so
first
sorry.
time that it's
No,
not
you won't.
profound.
I can tell you won't. I know you won't. I know you won't. Okay. I always do this to people. I'm so sorry. I should just ask it next time and be like, "Oh, by the way, before you go, what makes a great story, do you think?"
Mm.
Sorry.
um, yeah. So I think there's a lot of things that make great stories. I'm a big character driven writer,
Mm,
and
mhm.
um, I think that if you write characters that fit your story, fit what you're trying to show in the story, that it's going to be a good story. A great story, I think, has more than just great characters, though.
Mm,
I think a great story is leaves something behind that lingers with you. I think I like to think of it kind of like romance. When you are falling in love with somebody, you can't wait to see them. You can't wait to get to chat with them. There's something about them that matters to you. That's made an
mm,
impact. And I think a great story is like that. It's that it stays. You can't wait to get back to the next chapter. You kind of think about the characters afterwards. There's something in it that has this heart or this hope or this you believe the characters are real. They're written so well.
yeah, yeah.
Um, I mean, we've talked a little bit about Lord of the Rings, and the Lord of the Rings is a plot driven book, but the characters make the story, right? It's
Mhm.
not a character driven book. It's a plot driven book, but it's amazing how Tolkien took all these characters and made us fall in love with their mission together as a fellowship
Yes.
because we care
Mhm.
and what happens to them matters and it lingers with us and we're like, go Frodo, go Samwise, go we are cheering them on. It stays because they're working through hard things because they believe in good that's going to happen at the end. And I think that's why I like to write the hopeful ever afters instead of
Yeah.
happily ever after. I like to write the hopeful ever afters because that's what lingers.
Yeah.
I can laugh about something. That can be funny. But when it
Mhm.
matters to me, then it's hopeful and it means more.
Mm.
And I, so yeah. So I think that a great story for me ends with us, it lingers with that hope in it. And the characters are what help make that happen.
Oh, Pepper, that was beautiful.
Oh gosh.
That was beautiful. This is why I love that question. Oh my I love it so much. I love it so much. Oh my
I
gosh.
was
Yeah.
really surprised. I'm surprised you did not ask me about Some Like It, Scott. I thought for sure you would
Oh,
because
okay. Well, let's talk about that. I'm happy to go through what I'm trying not to do is to
no,
make you feel like I'm going like, "Okay, now let's talk about that book, and let's talk
I
about that book."
don't.
I don't
Did
wanna
I
do that
tell
to
you
you.
who's their biggest fangirl? Let me just say. Did I tell you this? I already warned
Okay,
you.
let's go there. Let's go there. Okay, boop, 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 because I told you I've got a slide for everything.
You
Let's
do.
talk
It's
about this.
amazing.
You should see all my slides. I'm not gonna make you look at all of them. But I told you I had way too much fun being like, "And add
So
this to
great.
my TBR, and add this to my TBR." But anyway, okay, tell us about this one. I'm excited.
Yeah, so this story is it's really hard to pick favorites because then I really hurt feelings that are not real. But um
You don't wanna do that.
I I love I love this story because of so many reasons. I'm a big fan of Scotland. But this
Oh.
story has it's again what you were just mentioning about A Brood Awakening, that it doesn't kind of follow this typical trend of rom-coms. This one doesn't either. It has more of the overt physical humor in it, where you have the clumsy heroine and you have the Scot. She's extra tall and he's extra tall, so that's something that makes them a little different. Um, but this story is actually a rom com about grief, and so you get
Oh.
the spine of it is learning how to grieve in a healthy way, and it's
Mm,
got all this, and it's about belonging. It's a big story about found family, belonging,
mm,
and sibling grief. And
yeah.
so it's I think it's one of my favorites because I love the duality of having this joyful, funny story And underneath it, we're all of us. I mean, even though I think some of the funniest people are the ones who've had some of the deepest hurts. Why is
Truly.
that? Yeah, you know, why is that? Right? I think
Yes.
of Robin Williams, he was hilarious and he was such a broken man.
Mhm.
And what about that? How does that live together? Right?
Yes. Yeah.
And so for me, as a Christian, for me, I can see that there's joy paired with sorrow because
Mhm.
joy is consistent and doesn't change based on circumstances. And so you still have that undercurrent happening. In this book, we have
Mhm.
characters who are both grieving deep losses. One's healed well,
Mhm.
one's healing not well. And you get to see how love and belonging change the way grief happens. So it's a I love it. I love the story. I love the beauty of I love the humor. There is a shirtless guy scene that's a kissing scene that is like I love that scene. I love that scene so much. But I love that scene. Did I say that already?
Oh my
um,
god, I love it. I love it.
but I also love the
Oh.
scene. I also love the scene of vulnerability when the heroine opens up her heart to what her grief is. And I
Mm.
love the way the healing happens. And so there's so much in this story that just, I think, I love that it's not your tip. It's got this deeper level underneath that's shoring up the happy parts. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, so that's this one is very much like that.
I
Yeah.
love it. Oh my goodness. So this is another one. It's sort of similar to what we've been discussing. So if you feel like, okay, I've kind of answered this already, we can move along. But what would you say resonates the most with your audience when you get together with your fans, like at signings or if they're messaging or emailing you or whatever? What do you frequently see them saying?
Uh-huh.
If there's anything
Yes.
that's like a common
Well,
thing.
yeah. So there is a lot of positivity about the joy of the stories, the happiness, the funny stuff. I get a lot of that. I also get a lot of for my stories that have a more of a spiritual thread. I get a lot of comments about how they finally saw how much God loved them, or something like that, or finally felt like that was they hadn't been healing the right way, and this that helped them see how
Mm.
that God helps them heal. And so those sorts of things are special. They're way over here special because that's at a much deeper level, even though I'm a big fan of laughing and humor. Um, but I do get a lot of the I loved this character. I love that you showed her insecurities and how love helps make her strong again. And those sorts of things. So humor does happen a lot. Hope is a lot about it. Whenever Authentically Izzy came out, I had a lot of people tell me how much they liked the epistolary style, but also I'll tell you right now, that whole series has, in my opinion, the best show of family dynamics through texting and emails.
Ah!
um they are the funniest. They are the three cousins slash siblings are hilarious, and you really get this, yeah, you get this intimacy of getting to like peek into their private messages and see what they're like. So I get so many messages about how much they love this family. It's not like I love Izzy, I love Penelope, I love Luke. It's I love this family, and that has made me so happy. These are my comfort reads. These I listen to these when I need encouragement. I just turn them on and listen.
I
Um,
love it. I love
yeah,
Okay, so this is a trilogy then. I was looking and I wasn't certain if these were standalones, but I thought these are so similar,
yeah,
and I think I put it near it. This is the 3rd one.
yeah,
I see. I put them together because I was like, "I think these go
yeah.
together."
They're not listed that way though.
Okay, that's why I wasn't sure. I was like, "But they
Yeah,
feel like they based on things." Okay, so I'm not just crazy.
no,
Okay, so there's no title for, like, a
no.
trilogy.
I mean, readers have titled them as the Skamar series or the Edgewood series.
Okay.
They'll say one of the Skamar is the island that's the characters go visit, and then it's a Scottish influenced island that's make believe that is not really make believe if you read these books, though. By the way, and
Oh,
then and and then it's called the Edgewood series by some people because the siblings all have the last name Edgewood, or the cousins
oh,
slash siblings, and so people have given it its own series title. But
really?
it's that's what I hear over and over again is that I love this family and
Mm.
in this series in particular.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Oh, good. See, we got to talk about more of your books, and I didn't just go, and this one, and this one, and
Well, hint for those of you who like audiobooks,
yes,
authentically Izzy and positively Penelope, and they did a great job of Luke too, but the audiobooks for those two are phenomenal. And it's not because I'm not saying it about the story, I'm saying it about the audiobooks. They got different voices, and it's like watching a movie, except you can't see anything, you just hear the guys speak the guy parts and the girls speak the girl parts. It's not just reading a chapter, it's going back and
yes,
forth. it was
yes.
it was amazing, and the audiobook narrators, actors, they were phenomenal. So yeah,
Oh,
it's
how fun. I love a
such a
good duet narration. It took me a
yeah,
while to be like, what's the difference between dual narration and duet narration? And they say it can be more expensive and certainly more tricky to
yeah.
do the duet narration. So that's oh my gosh, that's so fun. For those of us that
Mhm.
are fans of audio like I am,
Me too.
I'm really excited about that. I love it. I love it because that's how I live. That's how I read as many books as I do because you know
Yes.
it is doing chores and something fun to listen to. So, oh my gosh, I love that. I'm so glad you gave us that little extra tidbit.
Yeah.
So, oh my gosh, that's so fun. Okie dokie. So, I wanted to ask you, nope, not that one. What is on the horizon for you aside from I think I counted 4 books that are
Yeah.
coming out beginning tomorrow.
Yes. Beginning tomorrow.
'Cause that's good to know.
So we do have the Cinderella plot coming out
Yeah.
tomorrow. We have
Yes.
A Brood Awakening coming out in May. We
Yes.
have The Bachelor Spy coming out in July, and we have
Yes.
Pride and Practicality coming out in November. So
Wow.
yes.
Wow.
So the only things I can share about beyond that is
Mhm.
that I am currently writing my second Scottish book rom-com. And so it doesn't have
Ooh.
a title yet. I'm in the early days of writing it. I do know that there will be another Regency in the future as well. I've gotten the approval
Ooh.
for that. So those two I know about. There's a very good chance that there'll be another Appalachian book. But that's not for sure yet. And so we're still waiting on that one. But the first two, the rom com and the another Regency, is definitely on the horizon.
Oh my gosh. So exciting. So
Yeah.
much to look forward to. I can't tell you how frequently I talk to people who find and I'm sure you've heard this a million times. You find an author and then they just go so hard into your backlist. And it's I've shared now that I know, and we've been talking about this with some of my friends online, that oh my gosh, talk about backlists. Pepper Basham. She's got it.
But it's not for
So good.
everybody, right? It's not for everybody because, I mean, if you're a diehard contemporary fan, you're not going to dig into my historicals. And if
No.
you're not usually, I've won some people over, by the way. But,
Oh!
well, because like if you like rom coms, it's an easy transition into the Regency or into the Freddie and Grace series because
Yeah.
they have lots of humor. If you're a
Mhm.
historical person, I've gotten several people have enjoyed reading my contemporaries because my voice is still similar in the fact that they've got the life, the humor, and that sort of thing. So,
Right.
but you know, I totally respect people having reading what they
Oh, yeah.
like.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
Absolutely.
I love Jamie Jo Wright as an she's fantastic. She's one of my dearest friends. I do not read her books. I do not like scary. I have read two of her books because I am a supportive friend. Okay. But
Oh.
and she writes beautifully. And I've read scenes where we've helped support each other in the critiquing. I've read scenes and I'll support her in that. But boy, I like to sleep at night. And so her books are so rich and so well written, and she does an amazing job. But those kinds of the little bit of the gothic little eerie can stick with me long, and so I try not to read it too
Yeah.
much. Read it too
I
much.
I'm glad you know yourself so well.
Yeah.
You're inspiring me because I'm terrible in that sometimes I will say, "Yes, I can handle that," and then I start reading, I'm like, "No, why did I?" Like, we were gonna for March, for example, not that you need to know this, but for March, many of us were like, "Mafia March, let's do it," and I'd never read a Mafia book before, and so I'm looking at them all, and I'm like, "What are your favorites?" and
Oh
looking,
my
I'm like, "But they're all so angry, and they're so scary," and I'm just like,
gosh.
"What? I can't do it. No, I cannot do it."
Right.
Like,
Yeah. But see, that's
so
good. That's good. I mean, it's good to know, okay, this I can handle.
this is
I don't handle spooky unless it's Scooby-Doo spooky. I don't handle spooky very well.
I
Um, I
want to, but I can't.
well, I like intriguing, right?
Yes,
I
me
don't
too.
mind it being intriguing. Like, for
Yes.
example, um, you would think I wouldn't like a movie like The Village, but I found it fascinating,
Oh, I
right?
watched that movie, yes.
It's fascinating. It's
It
fascinating.
is,
But,
it is.
and there were moments where the pillow was over my face, but to be honest, but that's about as close as it gets to anything creepy,
Right,
because I don't handle it well, and I know I
right.
don't handle it well, so I will support those who do a great job with what they
Yes,
do.
right, truly. Yes, I'm 100% with you.
Mhm.
So along the lines of things that are coming up, I know you also have a day job, which I don't understand how you sleep. Do you sleep? You do, right? You just mentioned
I do. I don't sleep. I mean, I get about 6.5, 7 hours, I'm good.
that's amazing. That's amazing. Do you do book signings or I mean, I can
Yes.
imagine that you fit that in, but do you
I
have you got any
try.
coming up that you wanna mention, or we can always
Well,
look to your social media?
yeah, I will try to get that to you. I'm hoping to schedule a couple with Brood Awakening. Probably,
Oh!
yeah, probably more in the area of around North Carolina or Virginia, because I'm in Virginia now, but I lived in North Carolina, so I have a lot of contacts down there.
I love that you and I are
Um,
talking about that because yeah, I'm from North Carolina. I
yeah,
currently live in Virginia too. I was
yeah,
like, "Oh my gosh, this is too funny, too funny." I love it. I love it.
we just switched out.
Yeah, right. So funny. Well, that's exciting. That's very exciting.
Yeah.
And good that you're doing local because then it sounds like you're traveling for your other work as well, because that would be a lot.
Well, I do a lot of speaking engagements for the writing thing. Like out next week, I'll be in Colorado for teaching some classes on writing, and then
Goodness.
my really cool coming up, which is kind of related to writing and kind of not. My daughters and I have 5 kids, and my two daughters and I are traveling to England to do a research trip this summer for me. And so we're going through some different places. We're doing some Jane Austen stuff. We're doing some King Arthur stuff. And so, yeah, I'm really excited. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that sounds so fun.
I'm
Oh
taking
my
my
god.
readers with me. I'm doing videos that I can share so my readers can kind of experience it as best as they can from their home.
I was
So yeah.
just gonna ask you because I have everything that I could find linked in my description box, so if anybody wants to click a link, go for it right now or right after. But yeah, where do you tend to hang out that we can look for you?
I think you know that answer. I am an Instagram hanger, and
Yes.
so now I am on Facebook too, but Instagram I'm on more.
Yes.
I've kind of moved over in that direction because I like the format. But I still have a lot of activity happening on Facebook. I have my groups over there. So
Mm.
I have like an influencer team and things like that on Facebook. So yes, so both of those are really good places. I'm not really on X a whole lot.
Oh,
Just it's just another extra thing, and I'm not on TikTok because it kind of overwhelmed me. And I am on TikTok, but I'm not on there a lot, so it just is it's a
I
little too
tried
much.
it. I tried it and I didn't really understand it.
Yeah,
I'm terrible.
Instagram works. Instagram works for me. I like the format. I like the way it runs. I am hoping to do more on YouTube coming up. I'm hoping to do a little few of the recipes that are in A Brood Awakening, and
Yes,
make them and have people laugh because I'm going to be, yes. Who knows what it'll look like? But here we
I'm
are. And
excited. I saw that you were a booktuber too, and I was like, "Get out of town." I'm
well,
really
I'm a weak booktuber. I need to get better at that. I'm a weak one.
ah,
Mhm.
that's love that. I subscribe to you today, and I'm going to I
Hey,
don't mean like, but I just
that
keep
that place might
sorry.
be a good place to put those videos of traveling too, though. That might be a good
Yes.
place.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah,
How fun.
I
Oh,
know.
fun.
I might have to pick your brain on how to do something like that.
I am all yours. Absolutely. I would love that. I love talking. It's terrible. Like my family or friends, they'll be like, "So tell me about BookTube." And then I'm like, "Okay, just tell me when to stop." Before I start, just give me like a signal because I won't stop.
I want to stop before your eyes go dead. I
Right,
want that.
exactly.
I want that
Exactly.
one.
So I'm always consider me at your disposal for any
Yay!
BookTube related things.
That
I'm more than
sounds great. That sounds great.
Well, Pepper, this has been so much fun. I could keep you on all night and we could go over every single book and I'm not going to do that to you.
You have a
Not
6-year-old who needs you.
I know I'm surprised she hasn't knocked yet because she was knocking right before the show started too. And my friends online know she's not shy. She's not shy. She's got
Love it.
two older brothers. She
Yes.
runs the whole show. Like we all
Mhm.
just look to her and we're like, what do we do? What do you and now so
Yes.
you have 5? Are they
Mhm.
what's the mix? Boys, girls? How
Yeah,
many?
3 boys, 2 girls. And I have 2 boys and a daughter, and that daughter is woo, she is a force to be reckoned with. And
Yes.
then I have a son and a daughter. So
Yeah.
boy, boy, girl, boy, girl.
Yeah. Oh my. Yeah. No, so you understand. It's
Yes.
just she the force of nature.
Oh yeah.
She will be
Oh
there at
yeah.
any moment. She'll be here. So, but anyway, I just have to thank you for being flexible, taking this time, and I'm just so excited to enjoy so many of your stories.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's been such a delight, and I thank you for sharing about my stories. I hope that when you read them, you'll be like, yes, yes. I'm going to keep reading more, and you won't be like, oh my gosh, what did she do with this one? So hoping
Not at
not.
all.
But
Oh, I love it so much. All right. Well, we'll say good night and we'll be seeing you online.
all right, thank you. Bye bye.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.